Hey guys, just making this video to go over the questions that are going to be on the quiz and to give you all a chance to practice these a bit more. So let's go in for the first type of question. It's going to be a straightforward factoring question like x squared plus 12x plus 20. First step on these ones is to make a list of numbers that multiply together to be the last number. So we got 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 and 3 doesn't work. We got 4 and 5. So I'm looking down my list of numbers to try to find a combo that adds to be 12. We got it with 2 and 10. And so we got x plus 2, x plus 10. Okay, let me give you an example to practice with. Let's do this one. Let's do x squared plus 6x plus 8. So go ahead and pause the video, give it a try. And if you chose the magic numbers as 4 and 2, that works because 4 times 2 is 8 and 4 plus 2 is 6. Okay, moving on. Let's do another one here. This next type of question is factoring, but it's a bit more involved because it involves the AC method. So we got 2x squared plus 13x plus 15. So the very first step on this one, step number 1, is we're going to multiply a times c, the first and the last number together. So 2 times 15 is 30, and let's push this over on the side. We've got 30. And so the second step is we're looking for combinations of numbers that multiply to be 30. Now, not 15 like in the first example we did, but 30, a times c. Okay, numbers that multiply to be 30. We got 1 and 30, we got 2 and 15, we got 3 and 10, we got 4. 4 doesn't work, we got 5 and 6. Now I'm looking through my list of combos, and we have to choose the combo that adds up to be our middle number 13. So that doesn't work, that doesn't work. We got 3 and 10. Okay. Our fourth step is we're going to split up the middle term. So instead of writing 13x, we're going to write 3 and 10. Let me just make that clear. Okay, so 3 and 10. Okay, so we're splitting that middle term. So now we got 2x squared plus 3x plus 10x plus 15. The next step is to factor each pair. So now I'm looking at this first pair, 2x squared and 3x. What these guys both have in common with each other is a x. So we're going to factor out an x, 2x plus 3. Now look at this other pair. I can both divide 10 and 15 by 5, so that's their common factor. And now we've got 2x plus 3. And then the sixth step is we're going to do this kind of thing. So this is what they have in common, and this is just going to be the leftovers. So what they have in common, I'm factoring these guys. They both have a common factor of 2x plus 3. And now the x comes in here, and the 5 comes in there. And your last step, which you shouldn't skip, is to check that out. Check it, make sure you did it right. 2x times x is 2x squared. So we got that guy. Let's do our last one. 3 times 5 is 15. So we got that guy. Now the middle term, we got to check this way. 3 times x is 3x. 2x times 5 is 10x. 3x and 10x give you the 13x. Okay, let's give you a question to practice on. Let's do this one. 12x squared plus x minus 6. So give that one a go, pause the video. All right, let's do this one. We're going to do first step, 12 times negative 6, negative 72. Second step, we're going to make a list of combos that multiply to be negative 72. So like 1 and negative 72, 2 and negative 36, 3 and something, let's see, 4 and 18, 5 doesn't work, 6 and something, and then let's see, we got 8 and 9. Okay, and so the combo that's going to work is negative 8 and 9. Okay, so now we're going to rewrite this as 12x squared minus 8x plus 9x minus 6. Now, if you were doing this on your own and you wrote plus 9x minus 8x, it's fine. You'll get the same answer in the end. Okay, so now we're looking at this pair right here. What they have in common is an x. I can also divide them both by 4. So if I take a 4x out, I've got to write a 3 because 4 times 3 gives me back that 12. And I've got to put an x because x and x gives me that x squared. All right, and then right here, I got to put something that when I multiply 4 times something to get that negative 8, so we're going to put a negative 2. And now just use the distributive property, make sure you did that right. 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4x times negative 2, negative 8x. Now over here, I'm going to do a little trick here. I've got a 3x minus 2, so right here I'm going to write a 3x minus 2, because I know I want these guys to be the same. So now I got to say, what number do I put here so when I distribute, I get a 9, and that's going to be 3. So 3 times 3x is going to be 9x. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Okay, so now last step, I've got a common factor. Each of these have a common factor of 3x minus 2. We got a 4x, and we got a 3. And now check. 3x times 4x is 12x squared. Negative 2 times positive 3 is negative 6. This gives us minus 8x. This gives us positive 9x. 9x minus 8x is our 1x right there. Okay, so AC method, those are tricky. Practice them. You can get them, but they are a lot of work. Let's do this guy. We've got 36x squared minus 100. Now, the pattern on these ones, guys, is called a difference of squares. A squared minus b squared is a minus b, a plus b. So let's just apply that here. And I'm not going to explain this a bunch. I'm just going to go through a few examples until the pattern becomes clear. We're going to do 6x, and we're going to do 6x. Now, 6x and 6x gives us our 36x squared. Now we're going to do a 10 and a 10. The 10 times 10 gives us the 100. But because it's a negative, we're going to make one positive, one negative. Now let's see what happens to the middle term. That's going to be 60x. This is going to be negative 60x. Those cancel out, and we're just left with 36x squared minus 100. Let me do one more example and then give you one on your own. What if we had 25a squared minus 36? So square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 36 is 6. That one's plus, that one's minus. 5 times 5, 25, a squared. 6 times negative 6, negative 36. Now the middle term again, we got this canceling thing going on. Those cancel, and we're done. Okay, do this one on your own right now, guys. Let's do 49b squared minus 16. Okay, so if you did 7b minus 4, 7b plus 4, you're good. One more, just because these are so fast. 100x squared minus 25. All right, pause it, give it a try. Okay, we got 10x minus 5, 10x plus 5, and that's it. Okay, one other type of question is this. 25x squared minus 10x plus 1. This is AC method. There is a bit of a pattern here. Let's see if we can see it. So we're going to do a times c. That's going to be 25. Make a list of numbers that multiply to be 25. We got 1 and 25. We got 5 and 5. And we can do negative 5 and negative 5. Now it's this combo that we want because we want to get that negative 10. So now we got 25x squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 1. So we're going to factor out 5x out of this one. 5x minus 1. And I know I want to have a 5x minus 1, so I'm going to write 5x minus 1. Now what do I have to put there so that when I distribute, I get a negative 5x and a positive 1? I'm just going to put a negative 1. So negative 1 times 5x is negative 5x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. And I suggest doing the thing where you copy this down right here because it really helps you keep organized with your positive and negatives. If you got something like this, it's hard to see what you factor out of it. But when you write it like this, you can see factor out a -1. So when I do that, I got 5x minus 1, and here I got a 5x minus 1. Now there is a shortcut. Here's a shortcut on this one. If I see 5x and 5x, 25x squared. Now 5 plus 5 is this one, and then -1 times -1 is this one. So this is the same thing as 5x minus 1 squared. So as an example of this, let's do it like this. Let's say you see x squared plus 6x plus 9. Half of 6 is 3, 3 squared is 9, and so this is a perfect square. You can write that as x plus 3, x plus 3. Another perfect square would look like this, 16x squared minus 8x plus 1. Square root of 16 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, and so we could write this as 4x minus 1, 4x minus 1. And you can double check that 4x times 4x is 16x squared. This is a minus 4x, this is a minus 4x, and so you get the -8x, and then you get the 1. So if you see that pattern, you can kind of jump a little bit and say, hey, that's 4x minus 1 squared. But if that pattern doesn't really jump out to you, if it doesn't make sense, if you don't see it, that's fine. Use the AC method. You're going to get the right answer the same way. Okay, that's it, guys. Study hard, and good luck.